Hi, I'm Candace Gourdain, and welcome to Fitness and Harmonies. I'm going to call today's session Yin Pilates. So let's just start with a breathing exercise. Let's inhale and expand the ribs out. And then as you exhale, find the lower abdominals and draw them inward. Inhale, expand the ribs. Exhale, scoop the lower belly inward, upward. Inhale, expand out. Exhale, scoop in and up, and then hold. So what we're going to work on today is slow holding movements that train the abdominal muscles. And when I talk about abdominal muscles, still hold. I'm going to keep pausing to tell you, still hold. We're going to train the muscles around the lower abdominals to hold inward and upward. So talking about a back brace. A back brace is a good thing to hold out and have once in a while. But we already have that internal corset. And that internal corset actually goes deep. It goes all the way up next to the spine. It's not just superficial. It goes all the way up. So hold that in. Now lift the pelvic floor muscles inward and upward. Hold that. Here we go. Inhale, reach the arms up and out like a big letter V or Y, and then stretch up and over. Inhale, come up. Pull the belly in. Exhale, over. So keep going. Inhale, float up. Keep squeezing the sideways in. Exhale, over. Keep spinning the arm bones open and back. Inhale, up. Exhale, over. We're working today on holding deep abdominal muscles that allow us to breathe deeply, but at the same time move efficiently and effectively. 2 more times. We're going to use a band today. So if you have a moment, go grab your band. And recognize that we're drawing the lower abdominals inward, upward. So it's really like a basket. Come up. Let's stretch the legs out in front. We're going to keep these arms like a big letter V here. Exhale and then turn the upper body. You notice I'm only going about, 20 degrees to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale to the other side. So even though I'm not moving very far, really what I'm doing as I exhale is I'm pulling in and up. So I'm getting used to this feeling that something is holding me. There's a tight band. We're going to work with the band today. Not around the waist. The band around the waist is intrinsic. It's already there. So lengthen the connective tissue that runs up and down the spine, up and down. There's ligaments, and ligaments are very, very strong. Think of them like shoelaces. They look like shoelaces. And there's a lot of ligaments on the back and the low back. 2 more times. Exhale. Now push the legs down into the floor as you rise up tall through the spine. Last time. And then I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. Spin the hands back behind the body. Press the fingers to the floor. So the ligaments on the back, they hold us together just like if you need it to be sewn together. As if those vertebrae were going to fall apart by themselves. There's a lot of muscle. There's a lot of connective tissue. There's a lot of organs. They're not going to fall apart, but they need something a little bit stronger than muscles. Because as you know, muscles fall asleep. Muscles stop being strong sometimes. 2 breaths. We're going to do a lot of work in a moment here with the arms and the shoulders and the back. So give the chest a yawn. Let the shoulders roll back. Let the chest poke forward, but don't throw the head backward. Keep the head. The crown of the head almost always faces, gravity. Now exhale, find the pelvic floor muscles, squeeze those in, weave them together with the lower abdominal muscles, spread the chest out. So I want you to think about Joseph Pilates. I guess I should mention his name anyway. I probably should throw a picture. You can imagine him. Picture like 1930s muscle guy, and he's got the arms out like this, and he's got this big barrel chest, and then he has this little tiny waist and a Speedo. Picture that the whole time that you're working. All right, from here, come up. Grab the band if you have a band. So any band will do, any elastic band that's going to hold on. Usually the darker the band, the harder or the stronger the band is. Loop that around the balls of the feet. What I typically do if I have a very long band is I crunch it into my hands and I don't wrap it around my hands. If you don't have the band, you can use a strap, but a strap's not going to move as much. Just from here, just roll the shoulders up, back, and down. So give a couple of rolls And then begin tipping back. So as you roll back and down, almost like you're rowing the body back. So it's inhale forward, exhale, lean back. Inhale forward, exhale, lower belly down and in. Lower belly down and in. This time hold, so come back and hold. So now there should be tension. There should be tension, right? You're having to hold this band. Now do row the elbows back and forward. So nice and slowly here. When you exhale, pull the arms back. When you pull the arms back, pull the belly in. So inhale, exhale. Remember, the purpose of all exercise is to create tension and stress. It's funny, in yoga, you feel like our purpose is to release stress and tension. But ironically, I guess, we do that by creating stress and tension that we can manage. Because the real stress and tension of life is usually too much. We don't usually get a say on what forces are acting on our body. But in exercise, we do. So this band is an external force that we can kind of control. Now hold back. Now round the low back. So notice the top rim of the pelvis just rocked back. Hold there. Now roll back 3 inches. 1, 2, 3. Drop the chin to the chest. Roll the shoulders onto the chest. Hollow out the middle of the belly. And then roll all the way up. Let's do that again. Lean a little bit back. Pull the elbows back. Hold. Hold, hold, hold. So there's tension on the band, right? Now rock the pelvis backward. Hold the belly in. Let me put my elbows down. My elbows just went flaring out. Elbows always down next to the side of the waist. Now roll back 3. So 1 inch, roll back 2 inches, roll back 3 inches, hold. Tuck the chin, roll the chest forward, hollow out the center of the belly, and then roll all the way up. Let's do that again. So lean a little back, hold. Pull the elbows, shoulders down and back, hold. Rock the pelvis backward, hold. Go down 3 inches. There's 1, 2, 3, and hold. So the abdominals and the torso are making like this hollowed out bowl. Drop the chin down. Roll the shoulders forward. Hollow out the middle of the chest and the belly. And then roll all the way up. Let's do that again. Lean a little, hold. Loop the shoulders back, pull the elbows back. Tension in that band, hold. Rock the pelvis back, hold. You got this. I know you've got this. 3 inches down. 1, 2, 3, and hold. Pull the belly in. Hold, 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 hold. Tuck the chin. Roll the shoulders, so like this hunchback thing. Hollow out the center of the belly, then roll all the way up. All right, so let's try this. If you have the band, it's great. If you don't have the band, then just, imagine it. We're going to cross the band. Did you see that? That was almost like a magic trick. Did you see what I just did there? Are you still with me, or are you? Whoa, that was too much, Candace. Now we've crossed, right? So we have this X. Take the band in the hands, the palms face up. The band in the hands, yes. And then we're going to rotate the arms out to the side and in. And if you don't have a stretchy band, this isn't going to work so much. Maybe it does. Maybe you have a towel, I don't know, and you're cleaning the bottoms of your feet. All right, this is a really good one. So if you don't have the band, I'm sorry, but this is such a good exercise. I need you to do this at some point. So we're going to keep doing about 4 more of these, but then I want to add on what I said, that yin within. 2. All right, so this time all we're going to do is hold out, hold out, hold out. Now keep the elbows and the sides of the arms plugged in to the sides of the ribs. Keep the spine lengthening, chin slightly down. Now from here, just squeeze the pelvic floor. What? Now from here, squeeze the lower abdominals. Now pull the shoulders down. Why are the shoulders going up? It's almost like you have this little elevator, keep them down. Don't let that happen. Now little pulses out, 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 out. Wow, that's your tricep, by the way. You're saying, what is that muscle I'm feeling? Well, it's the rotator cuff in the shoulder, if that's what you're feeling. But if it's in your arm, maybe because I just worked out, that's a tricep I'm feeling. 4, 3, 2 and 1. Good stuff, guys. Let's take the band off. Roll all the way down to the floor. Woo. Levitate the knees. So take the knees up and just hold. All right, let's close the eyes. You might be surprised at what we're about to do, which is nothing. What I want you to do for the next, minute or two is manage holding the spine. You know, these legs are up there. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing nothing. But rest the body. So imagine that you have 650 muscles. Now, some of those muscles are holding. They all have one of 3 jobs. Some of them are holding. So what muscles might be holding? Low back, abdominals almost always. Maybe those shoulder muscles, because you just worked them, maybe they're still holding for some reason. Some of those muscles are usually moving something. Is anything moving? Yeah, my shoulders are sort of shaking. That was a little hard. Maybe my legs are moving. Maybe I'm trying to balance and steady them, but they're moving anyway. And then some muscles are doing what they call assisting. There's muscles like in your legs right now that are keeping your legs from tipping or falling or twisting. All right, so 3 groups of muscles. Some are stabilizing and holding. Some are dynamically moving. And then some are assisting. They're aiming. That's the way I like to say that. They're aiming. Now, maybe spread the arms out, spin the palms to the floor. Now breathe. Remember the beginning? Ribs expand. Belly goes in. Ribs expand. Belly go in. Now the ribs are going to go out and in, right? They have to. They have to change. But the abdominals don't have to go out and in. So I want you to imagine that you're ratcheting something around your waist. So that every time you exhale, it gets tighter and it limits your ability to stretch your belly at all. So you exhale and the belly goes in, but it stays there. You inhale. You exhale, the belly probably goes in a little bit more. It stays there. You inhale. Again, now hold the belly in and down. Open your eyes in case you need to see something. Stretch one leg out, hover it 2 inches up off the floor, and then bring that leg back in and up. Now alternate. One leg out, hover, pull it back in. Other leg out, hover, pull it back in. All right, I want you to slow down, in fact. So go very slowly down and hold, and then very slowly back. Out and down and hold, and slow back. So pay attention today to what's called the eccentric, not to get all fancy on you. But usually we have a way we like to move, and then there's the coming back from there. Right? So, I want to go do something, I do it, and then there's the coming back. And that part never gets attention, right? Because that's not interesting. In strength training and exercise, a lot of times when we're pulling something towards us, that's sort of the point. And then the pushing it away isn't as important to us. But it just depends on what the point of the exercise is. In this one, you might be focused on stretching the leg out, but I want you to focus on slowly pulling the leg back in and up. So the iliopsoas muscle, remember that long inner thigh, deep abdominal, hip flexor muscle? Its job is almost always to pull you in, think fetal position. It almost always is doing that. So if you have a doubt, that's what it's doing. If you have answer the final question on Jeopardy, it's always the iliopsoas is pulling in, trying to get you safe again. So spend more time with the legs stretched out, like you're trying to train your mind, nervous system to be comfortable in this sort of, uncomfortable position, and slowly come back in. By now, your abdominals, though, are saying, hey, are we still supposed to be holding? Or can we let go? If they're letting go, this is how you would know. Your low back starts to sort of come up off the floor and starts to ache a little bit. If that happens, that means stop. That means stop. It's time for you to restore, not just the energy in the muscle, but your mind to pay attention again. Do 3 more. Remember, going super slow. And then release. Come up to bridge pose. So walk your heels in, slide your shoulders under. If your fingers can reach your heels, tuck your arms kind of under and grab your heels. Now take your thighs, the top of the thighs, and rise. Let them rise up and up and up. Take the inner thighs, squeeze, hold, hold, hold. Let's do that same exercise. I'm going to call this Yin Pilates, where we're taking time to go deep and give all of the muscles a job. Some of your muscles now are holding. They're probably pretty evident. Hamstrings, glutes, low back. Some of your muscles are moving. Like I kind of keep shifting left and right and keep adjusting the shoulders. And some are assisting. So the sides of the hips, they're keeping you from flopping side to side. In fact, in a moment, that gives me an idea. We're going to work those muscles a little bit more. Keep the back of the hamstrings, right, from the tailbone down to the back of the knees. Keep that lengthening. So you're really kind of rocking the pelvis backward. Remember, we did that before. Inner thigh squeezing. Keep tension in more muscles than you need to. Exhale, tighten the waist. Hold it there. Inhale the ribs. Exhale, tighten the waist. Hold it there. Inhale the ribs. One more level. In, 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 in. Good. Now spread the arms a little bit out so you're a little bit broader base. Now I want you to lift one hip up while one hip drops. So your hips just sort of turned left or right. Then switch. So one hip up while the other hip drops. So we're taking the hips and sort of doing the twist. One up while one is down. If you need to do that with your hands, go ahead. Nobody's going to judge you. Because it's hard sometimes for our mind to connect with our lower body. It's not usually something we do take a lot of control, a lot of conscious dynamic. There's that word. So moving the hip side to side. What muscles are doing dynamic movement now? Oblique, 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 the diagonal abdominal muscles. But stay under the control of all the muscles around the waist. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down. Hug the knees into the chest. Let's do some deep breaths now. So let the belly expand on your inhale. Let it stay expanded on the exhale. In other words, just keep everything soft. Let all the lines, all the meridians, all the channels of energy open up. Energy is everything. Everything is energy. Even things that seem solid matter, they're really energy. However, what we can manipulate easily are things that are a little bit more fluid, like water, like the body's fluids, like gases, like oxygen and nitrogen and those kinds of gases. So take in the breath and do manipulate the oxygen and the carbon dioxides and the nitrogens and all of the airy qualities in the body. 2 more slow breaths. Let the breath, remember, it's going deep, deep, deep. So for last breath here, there's no more controlling the ribs, but here we go. Squeeze the abs in. Make your way to your side. Push off the floor. Come up to a seated pose. Let's grab that band. If you have that band still, I'm gonna go with a different color just just to make things fun, you know. Same thing. Loop it on the feet. Same thing as before. You got it. Lean back. Same thing as before. This band isn't as tough as that other one was. Interesting. Hold the abs in. Remember that exercise where every time we exhale, we scoop the lower belly. Do that, do that, do that. Then bicep curl. All right, I hope you have those bands. Here, dumbbells would work for what we're doing here. So you can do weights in your hands with the shoulders pulled back and down, but focus on the yin within. Yin is that deep intuitive wisdom of circles. So don't think that we're doing reps and counting energy and burning calories and weighing ourselves in pounds. Forget that for today. Think about how you are. Just by virtue of the fact that you are, you deserve to be treated well. The qualities of yin is that it's like a feeling state. So feel how your mind is controlling your abdominals. So even if you're not doing this exercise, use your mind to find more abdominal tissue. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to sit up a little bit more, and then if you can, take the arms out and then in. So like fly back and forward. Fly back. All right, so if you've got the band, this is a little bit of a challenge. So what I really want you to work on here is good spinal posture, not the back of the arms. About once a week, somebody asked me, can you work on the back of my arms? Sure, I'll come over there and work on the back of your arms. We're not working on the back of our arms. Yes, we are. We're working on spinal posture. So pull the base, remember all the pelvic bowl, abdominal muscles. Squeeze. So your arms are not something to be fixed. They're not something to be changed. They're powerful things. So keep reaping the benefits. Hey, are those shoulders going up in the air? Don't let your shoulders go up in the air. Keep pulling them down the back. 4, 3. I hope I'm going slow. I hope you're going slow. 2, and 1. All right, release that. Let's come around into child's pose and stretch. All right, when we're in child's pose, the purpose here is to relax the belly, the back. All those elements, remember I said that all matter is energy, and energy is energy, everything is energy, and sound is energy, and light is energy, everything's energy. But use the yang, that's the bright, strong, powerful, hot, moving energy, to dissipate and penetrate into the deeper, colder, slower, darker, deeper rock. We all think of parts of our body as so hard that like it would never, ever, ever change, like bone, for example, but it's not true. Every single part of our body rejuvenates. So, take the surface energy and breathe it. Yawn it down into the deeper, darker, more intuitive feeling states of the body. Three. Go a little bit more deeply now. Like expand more, but then go in more at the same time. 2. You're not not fixing anything. We're sort of spinning around in a circle and like celebrating our own humanness. Come up to hands and knees. Let's try lifting one leg with the knee bent. Now, before you go anywhere, I'm not sure where you're going, squeeze that lower belly and do that same exercise we began with. We inhale, expand the ribs. Exhale, pull the lower belly in and up. So a lot of integrity around the waist and the low back. 2 more times. So we're using yang, we're using this vibrant, bright energy to locate the abdominals. 1 more time. And to sort of direct them. Now hold that hip. So the hip's not going to move around. Move just the leg around in sort of a circle. But give all of your attention to the stabilizer muscles around the hip. Those are the shoelaces I said were on like the low back, those shoelace muscles that hold and weave everything together. Then connect those shoelaces with the front abdominal muscles. Everybody's leg is set into their hip socket much, much, much differently. Some people can make a big circle. Some people can't even move it hardly at all. And chances are you're not going to change that a lot. Go the other way. So uncircle. Find those shoelaces on the low back. Squeeze them. So all we're doing is using the mind to balance the forces so that the muscles can pay attention. So some muscles right now, there was another category of muscles, those muscles that are too lazy to do anything. Some of those muscles just simply aren't paying attention at all. And our goal in any practice is to get all the muscles equally responding to the mind's attention. 2 and 1. Let's go over to the other leg. So lift the other leg, press the fingers to the floor, hold the abdominals. Don't go anywhere yet. Remember, level the hips. Here we go. Inhale the ribs. Exhale, soak the belly up, up, up. Inhale the ribs, holding that there. Belly goes up, up, up. 1 more time. Now, before you go anywhere, take a moment to take the head of the arm bones or the tops of the shoulders out. So like big football player shoulders, take the tops out. Here we go. Now circle this leg around without moving the hip. Very, very important. Because our goal is to hold the spine in place even when there's external forces that are trying to hurt our back. So there's lots of external forces that can hurt our back. I go out to lift something. I sit for a long time. Notice that this leg isn't making the same exact circle as the other leg. Our bodies compensate for stuff. So you may have one leg that does all the work. I know you don't think that's true, but it might be true. You always use that leg for everything. Squeeze the lower belly and stay connected to it. Keep that back open and broad. 2 more times. Find the lower belly. Now go the other way with the leg. It may be a tiny circle. All that's important is that this circle is under the direct control of the mind. Use your breath to light the way through. 3, 2, and 1. Push back into like a child's pose, but poke your hip off to one side. So hands on one edge, and then your hips are falling off your feet and on sort to the floor. And then the other way. So drop the hips kind of off the edge of the mat. Walk your arms in the opposite direction. A whole yawning, opening stretch. Commit to breathing. Commit. Dedicate your mind to speaking to your highest self. So we're going through the fascia and the tendons and the ligaments and the breathing and the muscle to get to the is of isness, the humanness, the human. regaining your own sense of I'm accepted just by being. 2. Make your way onto your belly. I'm not going to pick up the band. I was going to pick up the band, but I don't want you to make any mistakes here. I don't want to make any mistakes, so I want to be careful. Let's leave the band out of this. I'm going to put the hands kind of roughly under the shoulders, where it feels right. Because the goal here is to lift the legs, to lift the head and the chest, and make the mid-back, low back muscles do work. So we were seated before and we rolled back, remember that? And we went back 1, 2, 3. We're not going to do all that, but it's the same concept on the back. Now begin clicking the heels together. So the legs are spun open a little and you're clicking these heels together. Now, as if that's not enough, I'm going to throw a ball at you to balance on your nose. When you exhale, squeeze the navel up off the floor. So maybe it's inhale, exhale, navel comes up off the floor. Inhale, exhale, navel comes up off the floor. Now, if you don't like the clicking, don't do the clicking, If you don't want to balance the ball on your nose, leave that part out. If you want to leave your head down, that's another great option. But the abdominals have to stay awake for whatever it is happening, because their goal is always to stabilize, support, protect the spine. Protect the spine. How important is that? 3 more breaths. Find more muscle that you hadn't been collecting. 2 and 1. Come all the way down. Let's push back, but widen your knees. Bring your toes together and push your hips back. All right, I'm going to stay with my hands here and I'm going to keep pushing backward. But another option is to widen the knees even more. So wherever you find a stretch here, find that stretch. All right, if you have a blanket, maybe you're home and there's a pillow or a puppy and you want to hold on to that puppy, do that. Get a little comfortable. What I'd like you to do for the next minute or so is to open up all the meridians, all the channels of energy in your body. Now, it is absolutely physiologically true that we have knots. They're not knots like in a shoelace. They're like nodules of tissue that have made like a clump. That's probably a better thing. We have clumps of tissue, and they grow too big so that the things next to it, like arteries and nerves, can't get by. They make like roadblocks. That's absolutely true. And a lot of tissue can do this. It's not just muscle, it's not just fascia. A lot of tissue does this. So your next, 10 or 15 breaths here are to open up as many of those blockages as kindly and as patiently as possible. So all of those nodules or clumps soften with each breath. You can't exercise or stretch a muscle that you don't know how to access. You can't make changes in parts of the body you don't know exist. Our brains do a very good job of mapping out what's important. It doesn't pay attention to everything evenly. So I'd like you to commit to reshaping how your mind is in the body. As we're physically softening more and more of those nodules, those blockages, The energy of your mind begins to flow into those spaces. So what do you now do with the space you are creating? Let the deep, deep wisdom flow. Anything that's inhibiting, anything that's holding, anything that's like a roadblock, any wall or barrier, meet it. Kind of lean into it. See if it'll move. I am in a healing dance with my breath. Three. One more. Begin to make your way up. And then into downward dog. Let's see if I still have legs I can use. So splay the fingers out. Turn the toes under. Lift up and back. Downward dog is a very, very vibrant, active. It doesn't look like it. It looks like you're just kind of stuck in this upside down V. But it's a very energetic pose. Whatever you're feeling in your legs and your hips, you should sort of be feeling in your back and your arms. And by that I mean there's sensation, there's stretching, there's movement, and there's holding. There's an awakening all along the body, and all the lines, we'll call them meridians, all the lines of the body. Stretch. Vibrantly breathe. Soak the belly in and in and in. 2. Look forward. Hinge forward to a plank, a high plank pose. Integrate, this is important, integrate the arm bones into the shoulders, integrate the shoulders onto the back of the ribs. So it's like somebody's holding your shoulder. You know, you have like a cup on your shoulder and it's being held there in place. If you can, try walking into a side plank, one hand under the chest, spin to the sides of the feet or the knees or the hip, and stretch the arms out in a big letter T. So that integration of the lower arm into the shoulder, super important here. Two. Scoop the belly in, turn, come to the other side. Keep the scooping, keep the side waist holding, keep this arm down, keep all of that. So you're pulling all this nuclear energy into the center of the core. Spine long. So remember I said we're working on posture? Keep working on that posture. To integrate the shoulder, we had worked on the rotator cuff. And then come all the way down. Make your way around to a seated pose. And bring the legs out in front. Widen the feet a little. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, extend up and back and hold. So chin down. Flex the feet back. 2, let the shoulders melt. The shoulders are like, just goo down the back. Then inhale up. Exhale to a forward fold. Softly lengthen. Like your breath is coming through and gently massaging, like it's going down all these channels and teasing apart those webs, those knots. Exhale. No stress or strain in the low back. That's important. One more breath. Exhale. Then make your way all the way down to your back. When you get there, cross one thigh over the other thigh. Grab the opposing ankles and then pull your ankles in towards you. Working the fascia on the sides of the hip, the IT, tense. Same thing we've been doing. We're teasing apart with the breath. Those strong. You're strong. That's the good news. You're strong. All the tribulations, all the obstacles you've cleared, they've made you strong. And so you've been holding. 2 more slow breaths here. Long exhale. Then switch, so rewrap the legs. Grab those ankles if you can. Maybe just grab the knees if that's what you want to do. Pull. All right, holding on to this. Because your hands are pulling, I want you to give attention to your back muscles. So if we were doing like a row, we would be strengthening the back muscles. So even though your hands are holding, I want you to relax your back muscles. So the opposite of contracting. Soften. Now feel restored. A new well of energy. Feel this happy marriage of all the body's energies. Inhale slowly. Let it go. Inhale slowly. Just let go. Roll onto your side. Open your eyes. Push up and off the floor. Roll all the way up into an easy pose. Find that perfect posture again. Inhale, now stretch up and reach up. Feeling refreshed. Exhale. Nice work today, everyone. I want to thank you.